right. First attempt at commentating over a video. So here we go. Check it out. Let's see here. Bear with me as I try to figure this thing out. All right, here we go. So this is the start of the first set. We start with an Umbreon matchup. It's kind of a neutral matchup. I have to watch out here for Psychic, but overall it's not terrible, so I'm not going to switch out of it. My other two things that I have, although the buying type I have, that Medicham is a direct counter to it, I don't want to bring it out first. So I'm going to hit with a couple of poison things to start out with, and it's not going to block at least the first one, knowing that it can take the attack here. So lowers the defense. And here I'm going to call to make sure that he's not running Psychic, which he probably wouldn't throw it first anyway, but I block just to be sure because that would hit like a freight train if it did. So he doesn't. It's only a foul play. I take it. And I'm going to keep on lowering that defense to keep on throwing these poison fangs. There's a reason why I can't keep on throwing them, because as long as I'm ahead like this and I've already given up a shield, it puts the pressure on him to shield, and shielding a poison fang basically is not a good use of a shield. So I'm going to keep on going at this, looking to poison fang down. He's shown that he did not use Psychic, so I'm going to trust that he isn't again. So I'm going to put that back, not shield, take the foul play. I can take it just fine. This is a bulky Golbat, so it works out very well. Going for a third poison fang, which he has to block here too, unless he wants his Umbreon to go down. So he wants to keep it in. I don't blame him. I probably would do that as well. So it's kind of a race here to see who farms down first. So once again, I have to call this, thinking that if he didn't run it the first time, it may not be that the third time. And again, it was the foul play, so that's okay. Keep on fighting, keep on going. This poison fang should take it almost down to nothing. And at this point, I can probably win switch advantage, which is definitely useful with a Golbat because I can debuff whatever comes in next if I can charge up a net. So he does throw the foul play here, which does put me at a pretty low point, a lot harder for me to counter than it would normally be. So that does a lot of damage. It's going to keep me from being able to get a charge attack for the next thing that I farm down. So a bit of a problem there, which of course is a sad thing to lose to, because that would be a hard counter to that grass type there. But my Medicham here does have access to Ice Punch, which is a very good counter to grass types. Unfortunately, Frenzy Plant charges up quickly and hits like a freight train on me as well. So I have to just kind of take this and work towards getting my Ice Punch. It's actually a great catch on that Ice Punch to switch into the flying type and also steel type. There only does neutral damage because of that secondary steel type. Unfortunately for him, though, I do have a low-end Graveler, which is a direct hard counter to this. So he has nothing that he can do that does any kind of damage I'm afraid of. So I can safely not throw up any kind of shields if I had any. So I stay in a really good spot here. I'm just going to go ahead and try to farm down, build up as much energy as I possibly can to get to that to that Stone Edge, and possibly even a Rock Blast for a second attack. So this will be a Brave Bird probably, which would normally do a lot of damage, but to me it won't do a whole lot. So it's just this guy attacking. It does go through, and he brings in that grass type, which normally would be a terrible counter to my Growler, but I'm fully charged on energy and he can't do anything about it. So I should throw a Stone Edge here and also a Rock Blast to go ahead and finish him off. And I do get to it in time, so that does go ahead and finish him off. So it looks like that's a good game for me, and a good start to my set here with Team 4. All right, so let's see. One down. Let's get into battle number 2 here. All right. So it looks like I clicked on the wrong team there, so I'm going to go ahead and quickly back out of that because I'm not trying to show you that team on this video. It's trying to be a battle of Team 4s here, so let's jump right back into it. All right, so got my Umbreon lead and a Medicham. So that's a direct counter to me. I really can't stay in here for long. I'm going to have to probably switch out of this. So I'm going to probably try to do a little bit of damage, drop a foul play first, but I did end up picking that team that I clicked on accident, which I thought I had cut out, but I guess I didn't. So this is going to be a tough matchup for me. With Power Up Punch, I really cannot stay in here. I'm going to have to swap out of this into my Trevenant. I know that with Power Up Punch, he doesn't have access to Ice Punch, which puts me in a good spot. In terms of, at least if he stayed in against my Trevenant, I could do a lot of damage. He should just swap out us instantaneously. He stays in for a while for some reason, not really sure why. Allows me to throw a Seed Bomb, which he has to shield up if he wants to keep his Medicham healthy. So that really bodes well for me, as the Medicham is a terrible counter to my Umbreon. So this is not going to be an Ice Punch, but it's going to be a Psychic, which is already powered up by Power Up Punch. I've got to block it. Let's see what it is. Oh, it's an ice punch. So he ran 2 different punches. That's kind of a surprise. One that, I'm glad I shielded for because that would have hit like a dump truck on my Trevenant. This is going to be a Poison Fang, which I can safely not shield here. I'm going to lose my Trevenant in this spot because I lose to that Nidoqueen's poison attacks, but I'll go ahead and get off a Shadow Ball, which he's going to be forced to block or be one shot by. So I'm still in a decent spot here. So I'm going to come back in with my Umbreon and I'll look to hit it with a Psychic. Let's see how this goes. So I've got a little bit of energy already charged up, and he can only get to a Poison Fang before I get to this, as far as I know, which I can definitely take. Even if it is an Earth Power, I can take that as well, because Umbreon is just super tanky. So let's see what it is the Earth Power here. So he goes Energy Dry, which is a good use of energy by him, probably thinking that I might have access to Psychic, which I do. So this is going to hit him like a dump truck and probably knock him out, which it does. So it puts me in a good spot. Not ideal here to match up the Escavalier with the Metachamp, but he swaps in a Steel, Registeel. So that puts me in a great spot. I can Drill Run here down to get him to at least half health and likely farm him down and get enough energy for the Mega Horn to one-shot the Metachamp. So this looks to be a good game for me. Let's see how this one plays out here. Focus Blast would probably one-shot me, but I do have the one shield, and he probably won't be able to get to a Zap Cannon in time. So he does have the Zap Cannon trying to debuff me. It's not going to be enough, but I'll be able to farm him down here. And I'm more than enough charge for that Mega Horn to drop on the Metachamp's head, and I do dunk on his head and take it to this one too, going up 2 games to none. So it ended up working out pretty well. That I did not, use the Team 4, kind of a misclick there, but worked out for me. So I go up 2 games to none. So positive start for this one. After it had been a pretty tough day up until this point. I might post some of those videos later if you're interested, but for right now, that's not too terrible. So let's start the 3rd game here. Hopefully I got my Team 4 back into the match. And I do, so I got the Golbat against an Azumarill lead. This is a pretty good matchup for me. It's a bit neutral if the Azumarill has access to Ice Beam, which of course does super effective damage to me. Some of them will run Hydro Pump instead of Ice Beam, but I'm going to assume that he has Ice Beam just because I don't want to lose my Golbat. So I'm going to try to get that debuff on. He's weak to poison, so this will do a pretty nice chunk of damage if he does take it, and he does. No reason to not take the very first one. You'd want to block the 2nd or the 3rd one, with this attack. So I'm going to probably respect the Ice Beam here, and I do, because that would do a huge chunk of damage to me if had I taken it. This will allow me to get to a 2nd and possibly even a 3rd Poison Fang before he gets to his 2nd Ice Beam. So let's see how this goes. He's going to probably be forced to block this one. It's going to do a lot of damage to him already being weak to the poison attack. And he does block it, which was probably a positive call because he wants to get to that 3rd Ice Beam and perhaps keep switch advantage or force me to use my 2nd shield, which I'm not going to do on the first Pokemon here. So I have to try to tank this Ice Beam, which I do beautifully. Well, I don't say beautifully. I did hang on and get to my 4th Poison Fang here, which is a positive for me. He'll have to either block this or lose his Azumarill to me, which both would be a good trade for me. So I do get to win switch advantage, which is a positive one for me. And let's see what he comes out with. He comes out with a Scrafty. So obviously my Golbat is a great counter to that, but I also have a great counter in Metacham who resists fighting type. Unfortunately, the Scrafty does have access to Foul Play, which does a pretty good chunk of damage to me, but I have to save that shield for the Graveler in the back. So I'm going to have to take this attack and just try to keep on farming down. It would be great if I had access to Power Up Punch, but I don't. So I'll just throw the Ice Punch to put pressure on him. That's not a super ideal move here. I would prefer to have the Power Up Punch, but this will do enough damage to, to hopefully get me into farm down range. So not really quite enough. If he doesn't have Foul Play, it's going to be pretty hairy for me. This might actually take me out. I'm going to have to probably call this and just let him do it and then try to save my last shield for that Graveler. And just hoping he doesn't have a hard counter for it in the back. I don't want to see something like a Nidoqueen. Oh, and then there's the Nidoqueen. So that's going to be a good game for me. I cannot defeat a Nidoqueen with electric and rock type attacks. So I have to just go ahead and quit on that one. So a tough final lead there. One of the few things you really couldn't have at the end, he did have. So sometimes it just happens like that. So 2 games or two out of 3 games is a win for me so far. Let's see if I can pull out the 4th game. See how this one starts. Let's see. I've fallen so far on my ELO rating. It's been really tough to see. Seismitoad. So this is a pretty good lead for me. He has access to Earth Power, which would do not effective damage, but would do enough to make me, not be able to take 3 of them. I could definitely take 1 or 2. And then there's no reason for me to throw the poison thing here, even if I bait him, because I need to be able to get to 2 shadow balls to knock him out. So the poison thing bait just really wouldn't be worth my time here. So I'm just gonna go right for shadow ball and try to put as much pressure for his shields as I possibly can. So I go for the shield here. He did throw an earth power at me, which I could take. That's no problem. And he does take the shadow ball. So that at this point, I know that I'm going to win this this first matchup. I'm going to win switch and also keep my 2 shields. So I'm in a really good spot here. At this point, I'm going to have to really have some bad matchups or play badly to to lose this one. So the second earth power comes through. I can take it. I've got that poison thing charged up for the next Pokemon, which is a huge bonus to be able to debuff whatever comes out next. So he does throw out the Toxicroak, and I throw the poison thing, but I probably should have thrown the Shadow Ball, but if he blocks it, all's well that ends well for me. And he does block, which is a positive for me, so he's already weakened. I can come in here with the Medicham and hit him with a couple Ice Punches will knock him out. Well, I do go for the Graveler, because he's running Poison Jab. So normally these Toxicroaks are going to run counter, which would of course be mowing down my Graveler, but the Poison Jab does next to nothing. Of course, I had to shield here because he has access to Mud Bomb, but he does throw a Dynamic Punch. So it was a great shield by me. I can just keep on shielding and farming up here. I don't want him to get off his next Dynamic Punch. I want to just go ahead and throw one of my cheaper charge attacks, that Rock Blast, which does go ahead and knock him out and sets me up for a Stunfisk in the back here. So unfortunately for him, I have a direct counter to that. My Flying types and Ice type damage both do quality damage to this Stunfisk, and with the shield, I can safely dodge what could be an Earthquake. And it is an Earthquake that comes through, so it's a really positive shield for me. That pretty much concludes the game. It's going to be a good game, and I'll be able to farm him down before he gets to 2 more Earthquakes. So good game to my opponent there, but unfortunately for him, I just had a hard counter for his last Pokemon, which feels good to have after the ones that I've taken. So I'll just keep on farming down here, and even if he gets off another Earthquake, it doesn't matter because he'll be unable to one-shot me with it. But the opponent, I think, kind of just sees the writing on the wall there and just kind of gives up. He does block, so he wants to fight out to the bitter end. I guess that's okay. I might have had a lag, or my game might have froze or something like that. I guess it's a reason to keep playing, but in all actuality, this game has been over, and he did quit. So I just wanted to put that energy for some reason. So that gives me the 3rd win in my 4 games. So that's a really positive run so far. Just the one kind of last matchup loss for me there in the last game, and let's go for the 4 out of 5. Let's see if I can do it. All right, hope you've enjoyed it so far. Kind of my first foray into trying to commentate my battles. It's one thing to think about what you're doing as you're fighting. It's another thing entirely to talk about it as you're watching it. All right, so I got Swampert. This is a pretty decent matchup for me. I'm immune to his attacks he's throwing to charge up with, so I'm not taking much damage there. The Hydro Cans would hit like a tank, and he swaps into Skarmory to catch the Poison Fang, which is a good swap, but it is a big problem for him though, because now I can swap into my Graveler, which is a direct hard counter. So at this point, I'm looking really strong. I would not want my Graveler to see that Swampert with both shields up. But right now, I can safely just farm him all the way down. I don't really care what he throws at me. The Skarmory can't do anything. Even the Brave Bird won't do much. He does have the Brave Bird, which, as you can see, does next to nothing to me. So I can just keep on farming him down, and I am fully charged for that Swampert that's going to come back into me. So I'll be looking to throw a Stone Edge here, which the Swampert would take not very effective damage to by it, but it does enough damage that he'll be probably encouraged to shield. He takes it, so that's half his health gone. So I'm content to just go ahead and throw my energy out here and do as much damage as I possibly can. So at this point, it's going to probably shield this one, which is going to be a great thing for me. He does shield it. That's a great loss of a shield for me. I'll be happy to let my Growlers go ahead and go on down to the Hydro Cannon here. So I'm looking really good right now. I've got both my shields. The Swampert is at 35% health maybe, and I've got a nice counter I can bring right in with my Golbat. Oh, and his last Pokemon is an Ice type Walrein. So this is going to be a good game, and my opponent knows it, and he does quit. So that's the conclusion of what Team 4 did. They did really well. The other teams didn't fare quite so well. The first team did decently, but this team did the best of all. So let's go ahead and see what I got here. I'll let you kind of watch with me as I open up my Pokemon. Maybe it'll be a legendary. I've had really good luck so far with getting them, and it is a legendary. So I do get a Zacian here. So, bro, thanks for watching. And if you liked it, I'll try to do some more for you. Take care. I guess I'll let you watch me finish capturing him and watch my terrible throws here under the pressure of someone watching me. I wasn't throwing as good as I could probably throw. I can maybe go for the pineapps here. So I can go ahead and start laying my excellent throws, and I miss it again. At this point, we're getting to be pretty embarrassing with how bad my throws have been. Time to get serious. Someone's actually watching now, so let me definitely get this one seriously here. Concentrate, find my inner zen, and I miss again. Probably the worst I've ever had with throws. Hopefully you have stopped watching by this point. And if you have not, at this point, I'm going to have to just go to the bitter end and just throw some berries to actually catch this thing. I got pretty well timed for the excellent throw. Got to wait for the attack and hope that right here I get it. And looks like you get to see Tanya calling me through. Certainly some live action here. I do get the excellent throw, and hopefully this will be it. And that is it. All right.